Greetings. Welcome, dear yogis. Elizabeth Scala here from Living Sublimely Well. We're going to engage in a short practice together, healing yoga. I'm going to let you know that we are only going to be using the wall and doing approximately 3 to 4 poses at most. This practice, so as I'm speaking to you about what we're up to and the preparations coming, find yourself a wall as you're getting ready, a wall you can put your legs up that you can stretch out. As I said, we're using the wall today. So before we begin, if you have any medical restrictions, if you're under the care of a healthcare provider and there are things that you can or cannot do, honor those. For these types of postures where we're putting our legs up the wall, if you have glaucoma or uncontrolled hypertension, so hypertension that is not being controlled by the care of a provider, by your prescription medications, if you know your blood pressure is off the charts or you have glaucoma, do not do this practice with us. Find another video in the playlist and move along. However, if you are able to join us, find yourself a wall and yin yoga. So the poses we'll be doing today are in the style of yin, which means we'll hold the poses anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes long, which is why we're only doing about 3 or 4 poses today. And yin yoga is different from hatha, vinyasa, flow type of yoga. In the traditional sense that you might have practiced yoga or done any of my other videos on this playlist, you know that we are moving, we are flowing, we're linking breath with body as we move from posture to posture, doing different yoga poses. That practice is for the muscles, while yin yoga is for the what's called fascia. It's the deep tissue beneath the muscles. We're talking ligaments, tendons, even to the bone. Okay, and holding a pose from 3 to 5 minutes lets the body finally release, let go, and the deep tension is what we're targeting, what we are attempting to release, what we are attempting to stretch, what we are attempting to heal. So this will feel different than what you're used to on this playlist and likely in practices of yoga and yoga classes that you've taken before, unless you've done yin yoga and then you're ready to go. All right, so hopefully while I've been talking, you have found yourself a nice wall, a good size of a wall that you won't have any thing that your feet, arms, head, or body will run into as we practice. Since yin yoga is specifically for that held pose, you won't be working up a sweat. You won't be increasing the heart rate. You won't be getting hot or warm. So as you can see, I'm dressed warm in layers. You can keep your socks on for this practice, even your slippers. You can do this practice in your PJs. So comfy, stay warm. If you had tank tops or exercise clothes on, you won't need it for today's practice. So let's find ourselves our seat, and we are going to do a breathing exercise and mini meditation to start, as well as a meditation at the end. We will not be doing our warm up and cool down that we would do in a traditional class, and we specifically don't warm up because we don't want the muscles to get warm. If the muscles are warm, they are looser, and then the whole attempt at getting at that deep tissue is lost. So no warm up. We're going to jump right into the postures here after the breathing exercise. We're going to practice alternate nostril breathing for a couple minutes. So taking one hand. So find yourself a seat if you need a yoga block underneath your sits bones to elevate the hips, allowing the knees to flop open at the sides. And then I'm sitting right up against the wall today, as you see. That might be a nice option for you to really feel the length of the spine along the wall. The sits bones are grounding into the surface beneath you. The spine is elongated, letting the shoulders slide down the back. Tucking the chin just a bit as the crown of the head lifts. And gently resting the eyes if you're safe and feeling comfortable to do so. You can take your right hand, and we're going to go through alternate nostril breathing. So plugging the right nostril with the right thumb, inhaling through the left nostril, plugging the left nostril, opening the right, exhaling through the right nostril. Inhaling through the right nostril, plugging the right closed, opening the left, exhaling through the left nostril. Inhaling through the left nostril, plugging the left closed, opening the right nostril, exhaling through the right. Inhale through the right, plug the right closed, open the left, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left nostril, plug the left closed, open the right, exhale through the right. Inhale right, plug right, open left, exhale left. Inhale left, plug left, open right, exhale right. Inhale through the right, exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right. Continue at your own pace. Releasing the hand down. Inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils. Observing the breath. Observing the body. Noticing any sensations. Just letting that practice integrate and settle. Lovely. All right, let's blink our eyes open. And if you were seated on a block, you can go ahead and remove that block from the seat. I have two blocks handy here, so we're going to move into the first pose in a moment. But I have two blocks handy here because one of the poses you may be supported by having a block on either side of your hips. So if you do have blocks, and I do apologize for not mentioning this earlier, but have those handy if possible, or perhaps two cushions, two pillows, just, you may not need it at all, but just letting you know. All right, let's go ahead and make our way to our backs, and our legs are going to be up the wall. So how do we get into this posture? What I recommend is sitting close to the wall with your right or left hip, does not matter, but one of your hips near the wall, and then start to slowly kind of let yourself getting onto your back as you raise the legs towards the wall and into the air. Now, if you have very tight hamstrings, you may find that your sits bones need to be scooched out a bit away from the wall. However, if possible, be as close to the wall as you can with the bottom half of your body, the sits bones attempting to touch the wall. Get your back situated square on the mat, so make sure you're comfy. Having a problem with my rep being in my way. Okay, there we go. Now, the first posture we're going to do is wall butterfly. And if you've done a lot of yoga or if you practiced with these playlists before, you know that butterfly, we bend the knees out to the sides and we take the soles of the feet, so the soles of the feet come touching together, creating a diamond shape with our legs. Now, see how far you can let the soles of the feet slide down the wall, it'd be the outsides of your feet, slide down the wall so that the heels are coming towards your pelvis. Your knees are flopping open. And for some of you, you may be up here in a larger diagonal, but just see the three principles of yin yoga are finding the appropriate depth where you can hang out in the pose. Principle number 1, find your appropriate depth where you will, principle number 2, resolve to remain still. Number 3, we're not forcing, we're not pushing, we're not trying, we're not pressuring. We're just allowing the practice to unfold before us. So find your appropriate depth where you will be in this posture, resolving to remain still. Your hands can be on your belly or on your hips. You might even find it comfortable to rest them on the inner thighs. But if you rest them on the inner thighs, don't be exerting pressure, pulling the legs. You may even open the arms out at your sides with the palms faced up in a T. Whatever is most comfortable for you. The goal is to be in the posture at the appropriate depth of stretch, lying still and being with whatever is. I will watch the time for us. During yin, we may find it uncomfortable because so often we're used to moving, doing, going, acting, behaving, walking, running, driving, getting somewhere. Even in traditional yoga, we may move through a flow of vinyasa and the mind is distracted because we're focused on how we're going to move the body. In yin yoga, the challenge is to choose stillness. The challenge is to just be with the posture without movement. If any discomfort arises, the goal of yin yoga is to just be still, to choose to be with the discomfort as it arises. not trying to change anything or go anywhere, just be. If your feet slip down further towards the pelvis as we rest in the pose, that's perfectly fine. The body is settling. Gravity is allowing its magic to unfold. And we're deeply resting in the posture. So just be with the breath. Be with the stillness. Be with the body. Just another minute or so, staying still, resolving to allow the posture to be. Let's go ahead and take the hands to the outside of the thighs and gently and easefully start moving the feet back up the wall, using the hands to assist you as needed. Straighten the feet back out so the heels are on the wall and just rock the feet from side to side. We do very gentle counter stretches between holding the poses. And by counter stretch, just whatever the body intuitively needs. Perhaps you need to just kind of readjust your back, wiggle from side to side, point and flex the toes, or just whatever you intuitively need, what the body's asking for, before we find another posture and stay with the stillness. So this next posture is called wall caterpillar. And we've done this in other classes on this playlist. You may have done this in other yoga practices. In traditional sense, it's just legs up the wall. So the heels are making contact with the wall. The soles of the feet are parallel or as close to parallel with the ceiling. The backs of the legs are against the wall as much as you're able. So just find that sweet spot, that appropriate depth where you can be, where you can resolve to remain still, where you can let the pose be the practice. So your hands can be resting on your belly or at your hips. As before, you can open them wide into a T. You may even choose to lift the hands up overhead if that's comfortable for you, if you'd like the chest to stretch a bit. But just find the appropriate hand placement. The legs should be nice and still by now. Let the mind be still. As thoughts come up, observe them, noticing they're there, and without judging yourself for thinking thoughts, as we all will do, just place those to the side and come back to the body. Each of these poses Each of these postures, each of these stillnesses are opportunities for mini meditation. If feelings or emotions arise, let those too, notice them, be with them in the stillness, and resolve to remain still, being with the breath. If discomfort comes up in the physical body, in the mental mind, or emotional heart, resolving to remain still through the discomforts, comforts, or neutralities that you experience, choosing stillness, choosing breath, choosing to be with the body. Just another minute or two. Notice where the mind has wandered, choosing to be actively present, present with the breath, breathing breath into body. All right, we'll start moving into our third posture now. And here's where you may choose to use the block if you need it. Just pulling it handy in case I do, but so I can show you. All right, just go ahead and bend the knees ever so slightly, letting the heels and soles of the feet rest on the wall. Rock the knees from side to side. Again, a little bit of a counter movement in between the stillness of the poses. Just honor the physical body, intuitively listen to its needs, and whatever small movements or adjustments you need to make before we move to the next posture. Feel free to take those now. Readjusting your back so it's flat to the mat. And then let's go ahead and re-straighten our legs. We're going to move into wall straddle. Just as it sounds, we're moving into a wide-legged stance, straddling the wall. The legs are opening wide, letting the toes flop out. The heels are against the wall. The legs are relatively straight. Don't lock any knees, so there can be a slight bend in the knees, or if you need to bend, okay. And then here's where you may utilize the block if it supports you, if you need extra support. You would put a block on either side of your hips, so outside your hips, if there's a lot of tension and a lot of strain as you're attempting to be in the wall straddle. So block would go on either side of the hips, just underneath the outside of the hips, underneath those sits bones on the outside, okay? Finding your appropriate depth where you can be in the posture for the next couple of minutes. Once you're settled, resolving to remain still in the pose, being with the sensations in the stillness. As before, choosing your hand placement wherever the hands want to rest. Settling in, resolving to remain still, being with whatever comes up. Perhaps the most intense posture for us yet, perhaps not. You may have found others more intense. But no matter the intensity, the choice is to be still. The choice is to remain with the discomfort, to breathe into the tension, to be able to watch as the observer and just notice. Notice without judgment. Notice without ridicule, shame, or blame. Just being with what is. The feet may continue to slip outwards just due to gravity. And that is the body settling, actually settling and actually resting. The beauty of yin yoga, holding the poses, letting the body be, letting that settle, which lets us let go. Continuing to breathe in and out of the nose, avoid holding the breath. Breathe with the stillness. Let the body be breathed in the moment. Another minute or so. You're doing great. Being still, being with what is, being with the breath. Now taking the hands to the outsides of the thighs and ever so gently, ever so slowly, using the hands to help the legs walk back up to center. And again, with the knees slightly bent, just rocking the feet and the knees, the legs, from side to side. Adjusting anything on your mat, realigning your back if necessary. We'll move into our final posture before we close with our seated meditation. So go ahead, and we're moving into wall squat. So it's going to be sort of moving us close to happy baby. We're bending the knees so the soles of the feet come to the wall. But take the feet out to hip width distance or so, and keep walking the feet down the wall, letting the knees flop open towards the shoulders. You will find your appropriate depth, the posture where you will remain still, where you will be with the pose and whatever arises. So find your depth, feel the stretch. Knees are flopping out to the sides, soles of the feet are on the wall. You're in a wall squat. Again, the arms could be wide. They could be even resting overhead. It could be at your side, on your belly, or on your hips, whatever you find to be most comfortable in this posture. And once settled, choosing stillness, being with the sensations, being with the body. Being with the breath. Being with the moment. Noticing what's coming up, whether it be emotion, thought, or physical sensation in the body itself. Choosing to be still and be witness to what is. Another minute or so. Be sure to continue with the breath, bringing breath and new energy into the body. Breath bringing life force into body, mind, and spirit. For the last 30 seconds or so, you can stay right here if you so choose, or you can gently move yourself into happy baby itself. So pulling the feet off the wall, taking the hands and bringing them to the soles of the feet, whether inside the feet or on the outside of the foot. The feet are parallel to the ceiling. The knees are flopping outside of the chest. And just rocking gently on the spine from side to side. letting the lips curl up towards the eyes in a gentle smile, feeling the innocence of the moment, the playful posture, as though the self is a happy baby. If you have chosen happy baby, go ahead and bring that rocking sensation to stillness. Release the hands from the feet and let the legs bend in. No matter where you are now, bring the knees and hug them towards the chest. And again, just a gentle rocking from side to side. Releasing the hips and the lower back, taking a counter posture, a gentle movement. Now we're going to move to a seated meditation to close the practice, but let's not just pop up into a seat. First off, release our arms, push ourselves a bit away from the wall, so slide up your mat. Your feet are pushing the wall, sliding up the mat, and then letting the soles of the feet come to the floor. The knees are bent. And again, we're moving slow, we're taking it easy. We did a lot of resting in stillness. So the movements will be gentle. Let's roll over to one side, just resting on your side for a moment, allowing the eyes to open if they've been closed, acclimating yourself back to the room, back to the space, back to the body. And you can rest here as long as you need. When you feel ready, pressing your hands into the mat and very easily, very gently coming back up to the seated posture that we started our practice with. I am going to take a block and sit on the block. You can choose to do the same if you like, or you can just sit right on your mat. All right. Sitting with the back up against the wall again. Taking an inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with a sigh. Grounding your sits bones beneath you, elongating the spine. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears and slide them down the back, tucking the chin ever so slightly and letting the crown of the head pull towards the heavens. Closing the eyes if you're safe and comfortable to do so, resting the hands in your lap or on your thighs. We're going to finish with a meditation, a mountain meditation from John Kabat-Zinn's book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. So picture the most beautiful mountain, one you know or one you can imagine. Picture a mountain image in your mind's eye. Noticing the shape, lofty peak, the base, rooted in the rock of Mother Earth, the steeply or gently sloping sides. However the mountain appears, just sit and breathe with the image of the mountain, observing it, noting its qualities. And as you feel ready, notice the mountain as the body as the mountain, the body sitting as the mountain and mind's eye and body become one. Your head, the lofty peak, shoulders and arms are the sloping sides, sits bones and legs beneath you, the solid base rooted to Mother Earth. Invite yourself to become a breathing mountain, unwavering in stillness, completely as you are, beyond words, beyond thoughts, centered, rooted, present. As you sit holding the image of the mountain in the mind and feeling the mountain throughout the body, embody unwavering stillness and rootedness. Link up with the mountain's strength. Link up with stability. Breathe strength and stability into the body. As you sit here for the next several moments, breathing in the stillness, breathing in the rootedness of the mountain, observe the body, observe the mind, observe the breath. Noticing the breath in the body. Taking a deep belly breath all the way to the abdomen. Slowly and gently exhaling, beginning to wiggle the fingers, perhaps letting the head move from side to side. Just gently bringing some small, gentle movements into the physical body, reawakening the mountain. Letting the hands drop to the sides. And with your next inhale, palms facing up, inhaling the hands up overhead, palms coming together, exhaling to heart center. The light in me honors the light in each of you. It has been a joy, a blessing, and an honor to share this yoga practice with you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone. So drink lots of water. The yin really detoxifies the body as that body settles and lets go. So toxins are released. So drink lots of water throughout this day and the next. Let the practice settle, integrate, and heal. And if you have questions or any comments, any feedback, leave those below. I'd love to hear what you thought about the practice. And additionally, this is just a taste. We only did a couple of postures, but in my yoga class in the Living Sublimely Well studio this past week, we did a more extensive practice. So if you're in the Hereford zone in northern Baltimore County in the state of Maryland, I know that's a lot, feel free to visit my website, which will be in those comments in that section below, and join us for an upcoming yoga class. We have classes throughout the week and on the weekends. They're very small, intimate, cozy setting, just 5 people at most, and really get a chance to be a part of a holistic yoga community. So I'd love to have you join us. Again, let me know if you have any feedback, any questions, or anything you'd like to chat along. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you again, and we will see you for the next practice. Take good care, friends.